What is happening, YouTube? How y'all doing today? It is Monday, the 30th of December. Almost New Year's, man. Right around the corner. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me. If you've not been around with me before, my name is Joe, just your average Joe. We are hanging out in the garage. We're going to go over sales. We're going to go over comments. We're going to ramble and dive into some things. We'll just see where this goes. Just like every other time, we jump on here. You never know where the conversation is going to go and head to, and where I'm going to ramble and go off on tangent, because that's just how we do. This is all raw and unedited. That's how we do things around here. So appreciate you hanging out with me. I've been reselling full time on eBay for about 8 years, but I've been buying and selling stuff on eBay for 24 years, going on 25 years, since 2000. Long time. So I've been around a while, and seen some things and can share some things, and I'm here to kind of just get this community, just to dive into this community of reselling, and appreciate everybody that's been along the journey with me so far. I don't plan on going nowhere. I'll just say that. I'm going to be here packing and shipping stuff anyway, so I might as well take 30-40 minutes out of my day, sometimes an hour, depending how much I ramble and how much stuff we got to cover. But and I love addressing all your comments and touching on the live, going all over that with what you guys comment in the videos, and be able to discuss those things live. I enjoy that. So you never know where it's all going to go, but I'm here anyway, so might as well take a little extra time to hang out with y'all and share my journey and build this little community that we got going. So appreciate each and every one of you guys for hanging out. Hopefully, again, if you weren't with me on the last video, hopefully your Christmas was amazing. And New Year's is right around the corner, so Happy New Year. If I'll be on tomorrow again, but assuming we have sales have been dismal, by the way. Sales have been dismal. 8 sales between Friday and today. Terrible for $243.70. Terrible, absolutely terrible. So there's that. My just to give you guys a heads up, my plan is also to kind of share my yearly, my end of year results. Probably like first few days into January, I'll probably dive into my end of 2024 results, just to see where I landed and compare it to my 2023 results, and kind of show you guys the ins and outs. And for somebody just a small fry like myself, just your average Joe that does this, pretty much full time. I mean, I do have other side hustles that I do in conjunction with this. But just to show you guys kind of what it can be like. There's a lot of skeptics on reselling, and you can't do it, and it's not profitable, and it's not worth it, and this and that. But if you can make $40,000-$50,000 a year reselling, and you have another side hustle making $40,000-$50,000 a year, I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, that's not terrible. I mean, depending which part of the country you live in, $100,000 isn't anything. I mean, New York, California, Washington State, maybe Florida, even possibly. If Florida's probably hit and miss at 100 grand, but there's 75% of the country. If you're making 100 grand, you're doing pretty good. 25% of the country, you're making 100 grand. It's like, meh, you're barely squeaking by, especially if you're in the city areas of those places. Again, like New York, I'm sure you can live in the suburbs of New York, make 100 grand and do fine. But if you're in New York City or around New York City, you're probably 100 grand is probably like, you're poor. Same thing with California. A lot of places in California. I know Washington State for sure, because when I was working at AT&T years ago, where I was looking to move to Washington, and had a potential promotion opportunity to move to Washington, me and my wife were like, we were like, holy cow, like you're going to make this much money, and the houses there are this much in that area, and we got to be close to the city. And like, man, the cheapest house was like $400,000 to $500,000. We were like, holy cow, and you're only going to make X amount of money. Like, woo, you're going to have to go back to work for sure. Like, there was no ifs, ands, buts about it. Well, actually, she was working at the time anyway, but she would have to certainly find a job almost immediately in order for us to survive out there. So we decided not to take it. May or may not have been the right call, but we're here now doing what we do, and it didn't matter. So and I enjoy where we're at and where we live. So and that's just me. There's a lot of people in my area that don't like the area, and there's a lot of people that love the area, and that's pretty much, I guess, everywhere. There's folks that love where they're at, and there's folks that hate where they're at. So anyway, enough rambling. We've got some sales to go over, and some comments to go over. So let's get started. Let's get started. Let's go ahead and start off with comments. First comment up is MP3 Dave. MP3 Dave. I think it's the first time you've commented with us, MP3 Dave. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for commenting. And hopefully you subscribe to the channel. And if you're watching and you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. We're getting close to 750. We're like 732 or 730 something. So we're getting close to 750. So we're just kind of, slowly, we were stagnant for a bit, but now we're starting to get a little traction again, which is nice. I've seen my last two videos hit 300 and 800 people watching, which is amazing because I haven't had a video hit over 300 in like all of December. And I looked up the analytics and looked up the trends for December, and people do say December is like the worst month when it comes to video watching on YouTube. So I try not to beat myself up too much and be like, is it you? What do you do? What are you doing? What do you need to do, Joe? Like, nobody's watching your stuff anymore. Like, that's kind of how I felt. But then I was like, well, after looking at this stuff, it's normal for December to be a down month for analytics and viewership and subscribers and things like that for YouTube. So I was like, okay, cool. At least it doesn't seem like it's me. But yeah, make sure you subscribe. That's the main thing. So Rollo MP3 Day says Rollo thermal printer was my very best purchase. Hey, look, Rollo. I've heard Rollo is good. I went Dymo, but thank you for chiming in. And anybody that's into reselling, if you're not using a thermal printer, whether it's Rollo or Dymo or any other brand, I highly recommend going thermal printer. I did the old school. Two sheet printer, the sheets, the sticker sheets, these guys that would peel, and two labels per sheet on a printer. Did that for years. And my buddy was like, why and I don't watch YouTube, or at least I didn't used to watch YouTube up until about 2021, I think it was. During COVID is kind of when I started watching more YouTube and embracing YouTube a little more. And every once in a while I jump on YouTube to find a how-to thing. If something like on my car broke or something like that, I'd use YouTube as a resource. But I never watched anybody on YouTube. I thought it was the dumbest thing in the world. But obviously, since COVID, things have changed. My mindset's changed. But I never came across anybody that never watched YouTube enough to be introduced to different things when it comes to reselling. I just kind of did what I did and was doing what I was doing for years. And so I did the printer thing with buying ink and doing labels. My buddy one day was just like, dude, and he's not a reseller. He does card breaks and does football cards and things like that, and baseball cards and all that kind of stuff. And he uses a thermal printer. And it was just like, he showed me one day when I was at his house. He's the guy that I've talked about before that owns the Sports Shack. His name is Joey. He owns the Sports Shack down in Buford, Georgia. So if any of you guys are ever around that area, make sure you check him out. And let him know that Joe sent you from YouTube. And but anyway, he owns the Sports Shack, which is a sports and Pokemon card shop. Very, very nice card shop. And so if any of you guys are into cards and you're in that area or surrounding areas, make sure you check him out. And again, let him know that I sent you. Let him know that you get 5% off, 5% off. But he has to call me when you go there. So him or Aaron Herrera will be there. Joey Cruz or Aaron Herrera. So if you go visit them, let them know Joe sent you from YouTube, and that he told you that you'd get 5% off if you promoted. He has no idea, so I think it's gonna be hilarious. He's gonna be like, "What is this about 5%?" I'm like, "Would you give him 5% off?" I'm like, okay, he'll give y'all 5% off, but he has no idea. But if you go visit him, anyway, I'm rambling. But he turned me on to the thermal printers, and I was just like, "What?" Like, I never even knew they made them like that. Like, I thought, well, I knew they made them like that, but I thought they were like crazy expensive and weren't affordable, and just like more for like business industry, like business kind of thing, and they were super expensive. And he was like, no, man, they're like 300. I mean, $300 is still expensive, but it's like $350, $400 for a brand new Dymo. At the time, I don't know what they are now. I think they're like 300-ish now, brand new. But at the time, I think they were like 400 maybe, because this was a few years back. And during COVID, because I think I got introduced to a thermal printer in 2021-ish time frame as well. So anyway, transition to that and haven't looked back. So yeah, I highly recommend a thermal printer, regardless what brand. But thermal printers are the way to go. No, put it on the counter, please, so Luna doesn't get to it, because she's liable to get to it. So Yeah. So yeah, MP3, thank you. Phantom says, great video, Joe. You definitely killed the sales with holiday spirit. Christmas was great. Got to spend it with my mom. Spoiled her just like she has done for me when I was a kid. She said no gifts, just stocking stuffers. Bought lots for her. Best gift is seeing her smile and be happy. Man, that's awesome. I love that. I love to hear that, Phantom. That's amazing. My New Year's resolution is to get my life and health back on track. Need to kick a bad habit off for good. Pick up exercising to replace smoking, vaping, which is horrible. Hey, how was your sandwich and soup? Perfect. Did a little grilled cheese and some tomato soup. You can't go wrong with that. Nice little warm, warm. Get your tummy warm. Especially when I have lung or got especially when I have one lung. Oh shit. Well, yeah, I agree with you on that one for sure. Got nieces, nephews. I need to be around for. Doesn't make me look cool. I look like a train impersonator. Stupid. Also, I travel. Also, to travel and visit remaining family. You're right about time left with family. I did enjoy the intro theme music you had on the one video. I still click on your videos, regardless if you had an emoji, flare, or hashtags. You seem to be getting subs still. Keep doing what you're doing. Well, I appreciate that, Phantom. Yeah, look, I don't know about doing the whole extra thumbnail thing. Maybe I'll do it occasionally, but it doesn't seem to do any better than my other videos, at least the two that I tested it on. So, but I appreciate you commenting, hanging out, and yeah, you're right about having time with family and things like that. Absolutely. And vaping. I don't vape, but yeah, I agree. My wife smokes, so I wish she would quit. But anyway, so I can relate there a bit. Yarina, appreciate you hanging out. Great sales, Joe. I wish they would continue. That's the thing. I wish the sales continue, but it's slowed way down. For me, sales have picked up as well. People buying Christmas Day. Hope your New Year's resolution and wishes come true, and you can work on losing some extra weight and just to be healthier and feel better overall. I can say for sure that the 40 for sure that at 40 the weight is a struggle. It is a real struggle. You're right. It is just easy to gain weight. That is ridiculous, but little by little it's possible to overcome those extra pounds. Regarding the thumbnail, honestly, I don't think it makes a huge difference. Now, descriptions with the keywords and the box is important. I used to make videos here, and that description is key. Well, I will keep that in mind with the description, because that I can copy and paste that, and it takes 2 seconds, because I made a template with just my description about my reselling and put keywords like eBay and reselling and things. And then there's a whole bunch of keywords. I actually took it from the Commonwealth Picker, because he just has a bunch of keywords that he's got listed in his description. So, if people are looking for those sorts of things, his stuff pops up. So, and then hashtags, and it only takes 2 seconds to copy paste and then put some hashtags in there. So you're probably right there. So I probably will do that, but it takes me a good 10 minutes to figure out the thumbnail picture and to do something jazzy with it. Put my picture in there, think of some title to put in there and make it pop a little bit. So that I probably won't do often. I'm not saying I'm not going to do it, but I'm not going to do that often, but I will try to do the description, because it goes back to making things easy for me. If I can make things easy for me, I can be more consistent. I think that goes for most of us. So like YouTube, for me, making it easy was doing this setup, setting it up this way, because taking footage to a computer, editing, taking hours to edit, copy, paste, sit behind a computer, tear up my back while I'm doing it, just be in like my eyes killing me from watching everything and over again. So you can copy, paste, slice this, that, and the third. It works way easier for me to just do this format, be live, be raw and edited, post it afterwards, think of a quick description of what we talked about in the video, and post it. It makes it easy. It makes it to where I can be consistent with it. So the copy paste for the description is easy, which can lead to me doing it consistently. So that is no problem. The thumbnail is hard for me. And again, for some people, things are easier than others. For some people, making thumbnails is probably enjoyable and quick. So, if different folks, different strokes for different folks kind of thing. Like, what's easy for me may not be easy for you. What's easy for you may not be easy for me. And so, those sorts of things. I know there's people that love editing and they enjoy editing, and for them it's easy to pew 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 because they're creative and they've done it and they're just good at it, and they can copy paste, splice, and incorporate this, dub over that, blah 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 blah, and they're popping. They're just like, not me. I can't do it. I'm not fast at it. I don't want to go through the struggle bus of trying to get fast at it. So you won't see a ton of highly edited videos coming from me. Now, do I want to do more GoPro stuff and show you guys more of that? Yes, but it'll be more just spliced, cut and spliced, cut and spliced. Cut out the shit and, only have the action, only have the good stuff. The intro messed up the copyright stuff, so I probably won't do an intro on them, or I maybe need to have somebody make an intro. We got a guy that does stuff for us on my football helmet business. Maybe I can get him to make me a intro video that won't be copywritten, so YouTube can't do the copyright thing on it, or like they did on the last one, because I used the CapCut or whatever software I got on my computer that does the editing. I used it was supposed to be copyright free, but YouTube still picked up on it. They said it's still copyright free, but it still suppressed it, I think, or I don't know. It still like flagged it for some reason. So I don't want to use anything that's incorporated in an app. I would need to do my own video or my own intro, and which can be done. We've got a guy that can do that kind of stuff. We got a software editor, computer guy that can do that kind of stuff. And so, so I may eventually hit him up, pay him a couple $100 to just make me a little intro video for YouTube. It's got a little bit of jazzy sound and maybe some action clips of me doing out in the field, and some pow, pang, boom, bow, happening, and just make it a nice, cool intro. And then, 15, 20 seconds, 10, 15 seconds, 20, whatever, and go that route. But for now, it's going to be just just me, like we have been, but more on the field, because yard sale season, I think it's 67 degrees today. We got a cold front coming through, but as we get into late January, February, we're still gonna have cold days and cold weeks, but things start to pick up yard sale wise about, I don't know, in about 2 months or so, end of February ish. Things will start to pick up leading into spring. We're in Carolina, so the weather, it never really gets bad. We have weeks where it's not pleasant and it's cold and there's not many yard sales. But then once that weather picks up and you see a 65-degree day on a Saturday, you already know, start looking for yard sales, because there's going to be people set up, even though it's January or February or December or November, where a lot of places up north, they ain't happening. It's not, that's not there. You don't get 65-degree days there. You get maybe a splurge of a streak of maybe a few days where it's nice, but then it goes right back to being super cold. For us, it's opposite. We'll get streaks of it being cold, and then it goes back to being pleasant. So, yeah. So anyway, there's that. So Yarina, thank you. I appreciate the feedback as well. I'm going to, like I said, there's a few tweaks and enhancements for 2025. You do want to try to grow, or I want to try to grow a little bit, change a few things, make a few little tweaks and enhancements when it comes to this, when it comes to my football helmet business. If you just keep doing the same old thing, it's sometimes doing the same old thing works for a long time, but it's good to try to make some enhancements and some improvements. It's just like anything else. You want to try to make things a little better, enhance things. Once you have something signed, sealed, delivered, and it's perfect and you're good with it, then move on to try something a little bit different. So maybe at some point editing will be my thing, but for now it's not. So thumbnails may be my thing later, where it's super easy for me. For now, I'm just going to do them every once in a while. Descriptions, I can do that. It's easy for me now, so I can do that now and start incorporating that on every video, starting on this one again, because I didn't do one on the last one. Samuel says, stay positive and take it one day at a time. I know you can do it, Joe. Well, Samuel, man, I appreciate you. Samuel's views less lethal. It's been a while since you commented, I think, right? Appreciate you. Appreciate the encouragement. Appreciate you hanging out. And thank you for your support as well. We've got Nick. Nick says, I've heard hot glue gun and zip ties work. Recently tried a plastic repair with epoxy with shit results. Use a zip tie as solid as AF. Zip ties wouldn't have worked on what I was working on. I guess it just depends on what you're working on. you know, will be contingent on your results. The epoxy I use, what epoxy was it? It was, I got it in here. It was JB Weld epoxy. It worked well. It was like plastic. It mended it together, and it was like another and I shook it pretty good and banged on it pretty good, and it seemed to be pretty damn solid. So I would recommend JB Weld for certain projects, but I have not tried the zip tie for other projects. So I definitely can try that for sure. I'm sure zip ties work. I do use zip ties on quite a few things to fix things. So I can vouch for some zip ties for sure. Let's see, the Dark 25. Hey Joe, I recommend you start with natural detox. I've been doing this for 15 years plus, and trust me, it truly works. What does he say here? In one empty jug, add the following: 2 lemons, cut them, squeeze them into the jug and add the lemon. 1 cucumber, shave the skin and cut it up and add it to the jug. A handful of mint, fill the jug with water and let it sit for in the fridge for a few hours or a day. Have 1 glass in the morning, afternoon, and at night. This will not force you to use the bathroom. It will just help you naturally detox your body. As of 2025, I'm going to work on getting my business to the level of yours, so I can have those huge dollar days and eventually not have to work 9 to 5 as much as possible or at all. Well, look, thank you for the detox recommendation. I will definitely try that. That's too easy. I love lemons and stuff anyway. Look, I'm just a small fry, man. Hopefully you can surpass me, because having just eBay as your income, if you want to do away with the 9 to 5, you will need to surpass me, because like I said, I've got a few different streams of income coming in. The thrift store doesn't really do us much, so really I'm going to say 2: the football helmets and this. So I will say that you'll need to beat me, which isn't hard. So beat me, and I look forward to you beating me and doing way bigger numbers than me, so you can do away with the 9 to 5, because it's attainable, it's doable, no problem. And you probably will work less than your 9 to 5 and still be able to quit your 9 to 5, do full-time reselling. People think it's a joke, and people think it's, you can't resell and make a living and not work doing it. Now, it can certainly be a supplement if you work a regular job, 9 to 5, or you can just say, I'm done with my 9 to 5 and I'm going to do this full time. And you figure out different ways to make money, different places. Like you're doing Macari, eBay. If you do away with your 9 to 5 and do this full time and ramp it up to where you can do away with the 9 to 5 and ramp it up, then maybe Whatnot Live, maybe more Facebook Marketplace to get more cash flow, cash versus electronic transactions, Whatnot, TikTok. I mean, you can be I've thought about doing this myself, promoting. I don't have my Google stuff that I promote with you guys from time to time. Now, I don't get paid for any of that kind of stuff, but you could do a TikTok video and sit on TikTok for a little bit promoting a certain product. I see people do it all the time, and they're having people shop on through their thing, and they get the what is it called? They get a cut. I forget what it's called for some. I can't remember what it's called right now, but they get a cut of whatever it's called, something marketing. But anyway, they get a cut for promoting that product. You know what I mean? And so anytime somebody purchases through their link, they get a cut of every transaction. So, you could do that as a side hustle too. As in addition to your side hustle doing eBay, Macari, things like that, you could also become, just do certain products. I mean, we buy stuff all the time. I told my wife this, as I was like, instead of doing a 9 to 5 and going back to work, have you thought about maybe doing some TikTok stuff and maybe doing a TikTok shop? And I mean, you buy so much stuff on Amazon, like things that you really like, promote them and get people to buy them. And even though you do 10 videos on 10 items and only one does well, I mean, okay, you keep doing that. Like 1 out of 10, 1 out of 20 does well. Like if you can make a few $1,000s off one video from people buying stuff off you, and the other ones you make maybe a couple $100, it adds up, and that's better than a 9 to 5. And it's because you're promoting things that you actually like and can be behind and support, because you used it, you lived it, you owned it, you bought it. You know what I mean? Like, so those be the items that you hopefully that's not my mail lady. Those be the items that you promote on TikTok. Man, TikTok's wild these days, man. Like I was on last night scrolling, and what's up? Man, that cat. We got a stray cat. That cat likes everybody. He just wants attention. Yeah, I hear you. That it's a friendly cat, and he likes everybody. Yes. But anyway, just another thing to think about. In addition to if you quit your job, other ways to try to get some revenue would be trying that. There's a umpteen million ways. Maybe you start doing storage units more often and clear storage units and go that route. Look, the cat can't be in here, man.
Come on, kitty.
Really? We don't know where this cat's at, what he does. Look, listen to me. Listen. First of all, we don't want a cat. The more you give the cat attention, the more the cat's going to hang around us.
It's
okay.
So cute.
Okay. Well, don't pet him. Let him rub on you, but don't pet him because we don't know if he seems friendly, obviously. But I'm not a huge cat. I used to be a cat guy, but I'm not a cat guy anymore.
I'm gonna go tell.
Don't go tell. Cats. I mean, I don't mind cats, but I don't want a cat. So it can stay outside, and if he dies, he dies. You know what I mean? Like, no, don't let him inside. Is that terrible for me to say? I'm sorry. Yeah, I really don't want him in the garage because then he's going to think it's cool to just hang out in the garage, and I'm not really cool with that. Let me reset these. I got batteries that I'm charging up for. There we go. All right. So yeah. Anyway, there's that. So there's there's other ways to make up the gap. Bridge that gap from when whatever you're making X amount of dollars at your 9 to 5. So you need to make X amount of dollars when you work for yourself, and you can make half of that on reselling or 3/4 of that reselling. Then maybe you can make up that quarter or half doing other things, selling more on other different platforms, going live on whatnot, selling on doing TikTok stuff. I mean, who knows? So is it residual marketing? No, that's not the right word. Anyway, this damn cat's next to me right now. Really? We don't know if it's got fleas. None of that, obviously. I'm sure it has fleas. It's an outside cat. Cat, you need to get out of here. He's skinny. Oh, man. Anyway. So Killer Boy is the next one up. Killer Boy says, awesome sales, Joe. Awesome, Joe. Sales are steady. Turned off best after 9 sales in 2 days. Let's go 2025. Awesome, Joe. Sales are steady. Turn off best offer. 9 sales in 2 days. Let's go. Oh, good deal. You turn off best offer? Really? Hey, I've never turned off best offer. I've got best offer on all my stuff, but I'm glad you're doing well. And yes, hopefully let's go 2025. What did mom say? Hey, listen to me. We don't know if he has fleas or she has fleas. So you really need to not be messing with the cat. Because guess what's going to happen? If you mess with the cat and the cat has fleas, a flea can jump on you or your cat or your little stuffed animal, and then you bring the flea inside, and the next thing we know, we got fleas in the house, or Luna gets flea infested because the fleas can get on Luna.
The cat is just storming around me.
I get it, but you get what I'm saying? Like, I don't want fleas in my house. Okay?
It likes her.
That's because there's people around and there's nobody around right now, so she's hanging out with us, or he is hanging out. It's hanging out with us. Yes. So don't pet it, okay, please. And I'd rather not it be around us because that's how fleas jump. They jump from their fur to your clothes, and the next thing you know, you brought a flea in the house. All right, next one up, Hourly Flipper. Appreciate you hanging out. I think is this the first time you've Hourly Flipper? I can't remember if you've commented before, but I appreciate you commenting and hanging out. Glad to hear you had a great Christmas. I turned my store off for holiday. I'm nervous that my sales won't start up quickly when it comes back online. Have you had success after a time away? So hourly flipper, I always use time away. So I'm very familiar with how time away works. I can only give you my experience based on my categories and what I sell. I never have a good comeback from time away mode. So every time in the summertime, whenever I go on vacation in the summertime is typically when I use time away mode, because we usually go camping for 10 days at a time. So I put my store on time away mode. Every time I come back from time away mode, I mean, yeah, I get some sales trickle in, but it's nowhere. It's always just trash. So I always end up restarting promotions because I am an advocate of the marketing promotions and the sales discounts. Some people like them, some people don't. Some people have success with it, some people don't. Some people, just price their stuff accordingly and don't need to use it. So it's different strokes for different folks as far as that goes too. But I start high on my pricing. So I do use the sales promotions and the marketing discounts because a lot of stuff I put on, I start on the higher comps. That's just how I do things. It may or may not be the right way, but that's always how I've always done it. So I would say from my seat, my experience coming off of time away mode always sucks. It's always terrible. So I always end my promotions, end my sales discounts, and then I relaunch them to try to get more eyeballs and reboost and kind of get things rolling again. So that's just me, and that's been consistent. I've never come off of a time away mode and has crushed it and have done well. But again, I'm sure it's based on your category, what you're selling, how much stuff you have up. There's a lot of factors in all this. There's a lot of variables in all this kind of stuff. So it's hard to say exactly, I can't speak for everybody. So I can only give it based on my stuff and my experience. So again, there's that. So hopefully you let me know how your store's done, because I'm sure by now you've come off of, this was 2 days ago. So hopefully, I don't know if you've already turned your time away mode off yet or not. If you have, let me know how it goes. I'd like to know from your seat how things have gone. There's the cat. Are you kidding? Get down. Down. No, ma'am. Are you kidding? Down. 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 Man. See, I don't hate cats. If it was an indoor cat that I knew had no fleas, I'm good. But I don't want fleas. So as much as I want to pet them and be like, oh, cat, yeah, because I got that little soft spot for animals. I'm also like, damn you, I don't want fleas, man. Mac, don't be petting that cat. Yeah, he was just up on my table. Or she. Or it. Definitely don't feed the cat. Okay. Because it will definitely come back. We gotta no, that's, I can't say that. Exactly. What is he on now? She on, he on, it on now. What? Down. Go down. Come on. He's got no care in the world. He's not scared. He don't listen. She don't listen. Is it a he or a she?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it is a she. Go. Garage door. I don't want her in the garage door. Don't be petting her or feeding her. Oh, yeah. I don't want the cat jumping all over stuff in my garage. All right. Anyway, so see, the ring light works out pretty well. Let me know what your thoughts are if you haven't picked up on the fact that I got a ring light now, and it's more, I'm not getting dark like I used to get with the lighting in the background messing up my lighting. But anyway, Long Reno. Hello, are you happy with your job or is it a struggle? I'm happy with my job. I don't really have a job. I work for myself. So I am doing what I enjoy to do, and what I enjoy doing at the pace that I enjoy doing it. So whether it's football helmets or reselling, I enjoy what I do, and I don't really consider it a job. I enjoy the time that I do doing it, and I enjoy the time off that I can take doing it. I don't know if that's a good answer or not, but that's where it's at. So anyway, are you happy with your job? or is it a struggle? I think if you do things that you enjoy to do, it's not really a struggle. I mean, it's a hustle and you got to wake up and you got to do it, but it's not a struggle because you enjoy doing it. So, but I also enjoyed working 9 to 5 for AT&T, regular corporate job. I enjoy doing that too. So, um, you know, it wasn't a struggle there either. That's why I was there for damn near 11 years because it wasn't a struggle. I loved it. I enjoyed it. So anyway, maybe I'm just a creature of habit. I enjoy doing the same thing. I don't like a ton of change. I will adapt and change, but I don't like a ton of change. So, and that's why it's hard for me to like evolve and do things with all this because it rolls well and it goes well and I can keep doing it and I know what I'm doing and I don't have to do a ton of changing. And so, but you do have to make those minor tweaks, as I mentioned before, to just kind of enhance your process or enhance your business or fix things that aren't quite going well that you can do better and those kinds of things. So you always want to try to enhance and tweak and do and try to continue to grow a bit. That's for sure. Anyway, hopefully enjoy. That's a good answer. And let me know if your work is a struggle, and if it is, I'm sorry, and hopefully it's not. Mark says mine have picked up, but went back down after Christmas. Same, Mark. Same. I popped off for a couple days at Christmas and a couple days after, and then now it's been dead the last couple days. So I get it, man. I get it. You can add half and half and whole earth. Half and half and whole earth. Elaborate on that one, Mark. I'm lost. Give me a little bit more meat and potatoes on that one. I'm lost on that one. You can add half, half, and whole earth. Yeah, give me a little bit more contents on that one, Mark. Those are all the comments. Let's go ahead and jump into sales. I only had 8, so nothing crazy. Resident Evil and Mario and Resident Evil and Mario. Let's see. Resident Evil and Mario. Let's see. My daughter's going to want that cat. Watch. Can we keep the cat, Dad? They're like, absolutely not. Where did I put Mario? Or the Game Genie? Oh, over here. Game Boy, Super Game Boy. All right, so Super Game Boy sold for $30 plus shipping. That Joker's clean. Resident Evil Nemesis, the demo to Dino Crisis. There you go. That's the demo for Dino Crisis. If any of you guys are familiar with that, Dino Crisis had a regular version and then had the version with the demo for Resident Evil 3. So that's somebody, I'm assuming, is completing their Dino Crisis because they lost that one or didn't have that one. So there's that. That sold for $16 plus shipping. Mario on 3DS sold for $13 plus shipping. Mortal Kombat and let's see, Ninja Gaiden and Mortal Kombat. So, Mortal Kombat PS3 sold for $16 free shipping on that one. And Ninja Gaiden, is that the right one? Ninja Gaiden Sigma sold for $12 free shipping. $12 free shipping on PS3. I've had this lot forever. So this is Infamous. Let's get that moth out of there. They don't want me to ship them a moth, huh? Infamous PS3. It's all the like the paper version. I think 2 of them are sealed, 2 of them are open, and then it's a whole lot of Infamous and Uncharted. Infamous and Uncharted. So Uncharted, another one. This is just the like the, I don't know, I guess these are promotion ones. And then loose disc. and another infamous. This one's sealed. So that whole lot sold for $16 free shipping. No, $16 plus shipping on that one. The camera. So funny story about this camera, and you can tell me I'm a bad guy or not. I mean, maybe I shouldn't even tell the story because then you guys are going to judge me. But Kodak camera. This camera came back to me. Yeah, I sold this back in like September, I want to say. Anyway, I'm not going to take it out. It's got everything in it, but it's the camera, a Kodak camera, in the pouch. Cracking before. Oh, somebody sent me a message about buying something. So it's my storage unit guy that's here local. He reaches out to me every once in a while. His name is Chris, but Chris just reached out to me asking me if I wanted to buy any video game stuff he just came across. Well, there you go. I haven't been out doing nothing, hunting. Facebook Marketplace has been pretty dismal lately. The past, I don't know, week or two. My dog's going crazy because the cat's outside. 24 systems, 58 controllers, 50 plus games. Jesus, what? So I may have a big, he's saying 200. What? Or maybe he meant to say 2,000. I don't know. I'll get to that later. Well, I'll elaborate on that tomorrow. How about that? In tomorrow's video. But so I don't want to look like a bad guy with this camera, but this camera came back, and tell me what you would do. So this camera shipped out and came back to me as undeliverable. So I just sat on it for it came back to me in October. So I shipped it in September. It came back to me in October as undeliverable. I just let it sit here for like 2-3 months. October, November, December. Yeah, because I relisted it in December, like early December. Maybe even mid-December, because it's only been up for like 2 weeks. But anyway, so it was sitting here for a better part of October, November, December, over 60 days. Over 90 days from the point of it going out originally in September. The person never reached out to me, never said, hey, where's my item? Hey, what's going on? What's happening with my camera? Nothing. I'll just let it sit here because I was waiting for a message to come through, and just let it sit there and sat and never got any communication from the person at all. So I just relisted it like 2 weeks ago, and it sold again. So, and now at this point, it's over 90 days since it was sent originally, since the original purchase date. We're actually probably pushing over 100 days since the original purchase date, because I think it sold like the beginning of September, and came back to me like the beginning of October. But nonetheless, let me know what you would do. Would you probably should have reached out to them and been like, hey, I got your camera. In fact, I may have sent them a message now that I'm thinking about it in October. I think I actually did send them a message and I never got a reply. That's what it was. I did send them a message. So maybe I should have just refunded them proactively, but I didn't. But I do remember I did send them a message and said, hey, I got your camera back. Did your address change or something? And never heard any communication. Maybe they died. I don't know. Do I got a sign for it? Are they dropping it off? They're knocking on the door. Okay, I'll be right back, guys. Oh my gosh. Vanilla? Gotcha. Okay. So I did send them a message and never heard back from them, so I just sat there. And eventually I just refunded them. I think after so long you can't do a refund anyway. So I think that's why I didn't go back and refund them. But I didn't really, I'll be honest, I don't think I went back to refund them at any point. It just sat there. I actually forgot about it for a while because it was just sitting there for what, 2 months, 2.5 months, just literally sitting right here. So there's that. So I resold it for $69.99. It sold originally for $59.99. So I resold it for $69.99. So there's that. So I sent a card out to PSA. This is I can't believe it got a 6. This is a near and dear card for me. One of one. There's only probably one in the world. Like, this is a true one of one. I'll show it off here in a second. So, story to this goes, I wish I could show you guys, but I met Emmett Smith through my football helmet business because he worked with Radke Sports, and Radke and Emmett Smith owns Prova, which is his COA authentication company. Radke has their own, if you ever heard of Radke Sports, they have their own authentication for autograph stuff. So Radke and Prova came together on a deal to have one COA. It's called the Radke Prova certification. So anything that's autographed through Radke now has the Prova, backed by Prova kind of thing. So they're basically working together to make sure that everything is authenticated, because Emmett Smith had a situation, and he told us the story. We had lunch with him and his crew, and spent a couple hours with him. And he told us the story. I already knew the story because I had met Emmett Smith the year prior at a function at Fanatics. Also with Radke, the owners of Radke, we were in Atlantic City for the Nationals. So let me backtrack. So the Nationals has a private party for like all the big wigs, and I was invited through the owners of Radke to go to this party, and the party had all the athletes and things. Well, a lot of the athletes, not all, but a lot of the athletes were there. So they, at the time, Radke and Prova, Emmett Smith, were in talks to do a deal together to do the Radke Prova certification and combined authentication and figure out the logistics of how that was all going to work. So I was in Atlantic City just enjoying the show with some folks that were on my team for what I do. And the owner, I'm close with the owners of Radke, well, kind of close with them. And so they knew I was at the show. So they were like, hey, why don't you come hang out with us tonight at the party? And so, bring a couple of your guys with you. So we did that. I brought a couple of my guys with me. We went to the party. We ended up meeting Emmett Smith for the first time, which was crazy. He told us the story about how he walked into a shop in Texas back when he was a rookie, or like early in his career, and basically was like, hey, asked the owner, hey, can you? This was before he blew up and anybody knew who he was. So it must have been his rookie season, or maybe, yeah, I guess his rookie season. So he asked the owner about taking this thing that was autographed by him off the wall, and he could take a look at it. And so he did so. And he told the owner, like, hey, this isn't my signature. And the owner's like, what do you mean? That's Emmett Smith's signature. And or the owner, maybe it wasn't the owner, but the guy that was working the store didn't know that was Emmett Smith at the time. He hadn't, again, blown up yet, apparently. I know that's the story. And so he was like, dude, I'm Emmett Smith. I'm telling you, this isn't my signature. And the guy's like, you're not Emmett Smith. And he's like, dude. So he pulls out his ID card and shows, I'm Emmett Smith. And I'm telling you, this isn't my signature. So Emmett Smith has had a huge place in his heart for authenticated, real autograph stuff, and doing away with people and situations where things are not authenticated, because he can't stand that. So that's kind of was the story. So fast forward to when he was at Radke, I think it was the next year, we were invited again to hang out and all that kind of stuff. And so it was us, basically our whole team at that point was there hanging out, which was awesome. Emmett Smith and his whole team, and then Radke and their whole team. So it was, and our business is called BTG, Breaking the Game. And Joey Cruz, the guy that owns the card shop, the Sports Shack in Buford, Georgia, he started all this. So I'm kind of under him, per se, running my own ship, but doing under the umbrella of BTG, just to kind of give you a high-end overview. So BTG, Radke, and Emmett Smith's crew were all hanging out. We all did lunch. We all, shot the breeze and all that. He told that story again to all of us, which I'd already heard it. And here's my thing. Hopefully you guys could hear me pretty decent because I talk pretty loud. And so at the end of it, he signed some things for us. So now I'm leading up to this. So this card I've had for quite a while. It's a pretty rare card. It's a Prism, old school Prism, 1993 Pro Set Power Prism combo, which got Barry Sanders, which is my favorite of all time. I'm a Lions fan, and Emmitt Smith, and they're at the Pro Bowl together. So I asked Emmett. I took the card there because I knew we were going to do that. So I brought the card with me and I had him sign it. So that completed half of it. Well, the other half, my intention was to have Barry sign it in person one day when I met Barry Sanders, one day down the road. I figure at some point I'm going to meet Barry at some point in time. I haven't met a ton of athletes, but I've met a few. Lawrence Taylor, there's another one that's off the top of my head right now. Lawrence Taylor, Rob Gronkowski, Emmitt Smith, Chipper, Todd Glavin, John Smoltz from the Braves, because they go into Radke and do signings at Radke. So we've been there a couple times. So I've met a handful of athletes, not a ton. The guy at the show, we hung out with the guy from the Soup Nazi from Seinfeld. So he was actually cool. We were hanging out with him, drinking with him a little bit, which that was a cool experience. But anyway, so Michael Irvin, met Michael Irvin. He was at the show. We met him. Anyway, that's all I can think of it right now. But my thought process was at one point in time in my lifetime, I'm going to meet Barry and I'll have Barry sign this in person to complete Joe Montana. I've met twice. I'll complete this and have both of them on the card signed, which as you can see, they are both on there. Well, because I'm in the autograph world and in the sports memorabilia world, I have access to these guys signing all the time. I don't physically go to a lot of the places that they're signing because I'm not that guy, but I can get their product anytime. But I also have the connections to just be able to send anything I want to these places and get a deal on getting the stuff signed, whether it's through Radke or some other smaller businesses that are in certain areas. So like I got a guy in Detroit that does a lot of Detroit signings with Detroit athletes. And so that's what I did. I got with him. I was like, hey, I got this card. I don't know when I'm going to meet Barry. So this card I really like to have signed, so I got a good deal on him and he took care of it because it's also a trust thing. Like I got Emmett on it. I want to make sure it stays in good shape. I don't want to get it bent up and damaged, so I trusted him. Obviously, the experience of meeting Barry would have been 10 times better and having him sign it and talking to him about it and be like, hey, I had Emmett sign this side. He said that you're the better running back. What do you think, man? Who's the better running back, you or Emmett? Just to have a conversation and just kind of lighten the mood and just, be joyful about the situation and then just thank him personally. He's my favorite running back of all time. I've been a Lions fan since I was like 11. So you're the man. You've always been my guy in the book. You're always the guy I argue for. Anyways, but I don't know when that's going to happen. And so the signing came up for Barry, and there's been many signings come up, and I just haven't had the right situation happen where I was able to send it to the right person to get it done. So the situation happened where my guy in Detroit was able to get it, and I trust him. And so I was like, you know what? Let me send this out. I don't know when I'll be able to meet Barry, but when I do eventually meet him, I would like to have this card at least in hand when I do meet him, and maybe have something else for him to sign. But like his rookie card, because I have his rookie card. Problem is it's a 9.5 Beckett, and if you know anything about cards, I don't want to crack that, have him sign it, and then regrade it, because chances are it's going to not be a 9.5 after that. Anyway, so I'll have him sign something. I've already got his stuff signed on like 4 different things right now, 5 different things. So it's not like I really need another Barry autograph. But if I'm going to meet him, I need to get him to sign something in person because it's just the experience at that point. And that story. I'll never sell it, but it's just having that story. So this one, I don't have that story, but I did send it out to get signed. So this is a 1 of 1 at this point. There's only one Prism that's got both Emmett and Barry on it. It's got both certificates on the back, Beckett and Prova, Radke Prova and the Beckett cert on the back. That may have been why it graded a 6, because it was an 8 and now it came back a 6. And so obviously through handling or a different grader too can make a difference, but now it's a 6. So that sucks. And they graded the autographs an 8 for some reason. But it is what it is. So that sucks too that they graded the autographs an 8 because that's dumb. But it is the only one in the world, and if I ever sold it, which I never will, but if I ever sold it, it would it won't get a premium because it's a 6 and they graded the autos an 8. I'd probably just crack it out of this case and sell it as is, because I'd probably get more money for it just being out of this. Because once you have a 6 on a PSA, people are going to be like, oh, it's trash. Really, it's still considered excellent condition, but excellent to mint condition. But a 6 is a 6, and that's not very good. I was hoping to get it an 8 again because it was an 8 when I originally had it graded, and then have a 10 on the autos. But it is what it is. So again, for me, it's more about it being a me piece and going to me to my grave. So there's that. So you got to experience that with me today. That just delivered. And the last sale, Conan. Some more comic books selling, which is good because I did the whole comic book pickup, and I need to get rid of these comics because I spent $100 on a whole handful of comics. I still didn't put the video out. I meant to put the video out for you guys, and just haven't put the video out yet for y'all. There they are. I still haven't put the video out for you guys for the comics, but this was a deal I did probably about a month and a half, maybe 2 months ago that I did. And I sold the one comic, was it in the last episode or the one before, for like $27 or something like that, or 35. I think it was 35. These three sold for 35. I think the other one sold for 27, if I remember correctly, or 30. I don't remember. But anyway, I'm over halfway there. These three sold. I got a whole stack still. But these three Conan comics sold for $35 plus shipping. They're from like 1967 or 72 or 67. I forget. 1972. It's on there. So there's that. So I'm over halfway home on getting my money back in just 4 comics. I've got a whole stack, as you saw. I have a whole stack of them. In fact, there was even more. Punisher, Fantastic Four, a whole bunch of them. It's going to take a while to sell them, but they will eventually sell. They're all old comics. They're all in decent condition. Comics are super condition sensitive, especially the old ones. So I don't expect to get a ton out of them. If they were great condition, I'd have sent them out to get graded, because graded comics, and honestly, some of them probably could grade decent and yield back a few $100, a couple $100, $100 even just on one here or there. But I, in my opinion, knowing how grading works, and I don't know anything about comic grading, I know about card grading. It didn't seem like any of them would probably do well. But when I looked at comps for some grades that were like 6s and 7s, which I bet some of these would get 6s and 7s. I mean, some of them were going for like 100, 150, $200, 250. I was like, man. So part of me was like, maybe I should send them out. But then you also have to, there's pre-screening companies or people, just people that do it, that will do a pre-screening and a cleaning for cards and for comics. So, and you can find them on Facebook. You can find them through a bunch of different means. TikTok probably too. You got to find folks that are reputable. But that was a thought process that went through my mind, but I decided, nah, you know what? I'm just going to put them up on eBay. I only have to make up $100. I'm pretty sure I'm going to quadruple my money when it's all said and done. It's going to take a while. Now, I could do way better if I got them graded and got them cleaned and all that stuff, but they just didn't quite seem good enough to do that from my perspective, to just from what I know. But I could be totally wrong. Some of these might grade well. Some of those might do well, and whoever's buying them for me may do exactly that and then grade them, and they're now worth 100, 200 a piece, because they are from the 60s and 70s. So, so anyway, and I did look at the comps, and some of them that were in that graded 6 and 7 weren't in the greatest condition, so it was like, I don't know. But I'm just not going to mess with it at this point. Now, if I do come across comics that are old, which you don't hardly come across them often, if ever, and I don't hunt for them, so I don't come across them very much because I don't hunt for them. But if I happen to see them, I will, like on this case, I'll take a shot on them. But if I ever get some that are in pretty good condition from my seat, the plan is to then send them out to get graded, cleaned, pre-graded, and then graded. So, and I probably maybe should have had them pre-graded, just because that's like, $5 a comic or something like that. Like, you know, you spend $100, you spent 100 on the lot, then I could spend another, I don't know, $100 at $3 or $5 a comic to have somebody pre-grade it to just see if they're worth sending in or not. You know, and then if they're worth sending in, then you do another, I don't know, $5 to clean. I don't know what the charges are, but it's pretty inexpensive to have them pre-screened and cleaned, at least for cards. I don't know about comics. So the juice is worth the squeeze. So I may have left some money on the table for sure. Probably maybe should have done that, but they're up now and I'm not messing with it at this point. So, but there's that. Those are the sales. Again, 8 sales for $243.70. Yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Hour video. Sorry it took so long. A little rambling as usual, but Monday video, it didn't even have a ton to cover. Monday videos are normally our longest. And even though we didn't have a ton to cover, my rambling ass got us to an hour. So hopefully you enjoyed this one. That's all I got for you guys. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, and drop comments. I love to address comments and discuss comments and stuff like that, because if you have the question, there's other people watching that have the same question. If you want to rebuttal on something, let me know in the comments. If you don't like the way I handled the camera, you know what? Throw it in the comments. I did it what I did, and it is what it is. But you know, whatever it is that you want to comment. I like comments. So if you think I should redo the comics and reconsider sending the comics to get pre-screened and cleaned and then graded, throw that at me too. You know, I mean, if you were into comics more and you know that you may want to do that, Joe, kind of thing, then because it's mostly Fantastic Four was most of it. Couple Spider-Man. They're all from the 70s, early 70s, late 60s. But anyway, so if you have any want to chime in on that, then let me know. The one that somebody bid on that I declined it because they sent me a lowball offer, the next one was this one, Fantastic Four. And it's not in bad condition. It's got some creases. It's got some scuffs on it. You know, it looks like it wasn't quite stapled in the right place. I mean, it's a bit dingy looking. You know, I mean, it's a little dingy-ish looking. You know, if you know anything about comics, you know, let me know what your thoughts are, man. Like, is this worth, you know, see how the edge isn't quite on the edge. I mean, it's got a slit right there, kind of in the, you know, but I mean, it's not in bad condition for being 1967, I think. June 7th. What year is this one? 1968. I mean, I don't know. Let me know if you know anything about comics. Should I reconsider sending them out? Some are in better condition than that. Some are in worse condition than that. So, but anyway, that's all I got for you guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. Assuming we have sales, we'll be back tomorrow. So bye, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day. And if for some reason I'm not back tomorrow, then have a happy New Year. And let me know what your New Year's resolution is going to be. I didn't get a lot of y'all follow up on that. If you watch the video this long, at least give me what your New Year's resolution is going to be. At least that lets me know how many of y'all actually watched to the end. So, all right, guys, y'all have a good rest of your day. Bye, everybody.